course, they're gonna come at us really hard for that first 72 hours. Make sure we stop posting, or at least get us flagged from being able to go live, so nobody thinks about the details of the fact that we just watch Angie Stone get moved around in real time on her son's birthday. I think it's time for me to call my gematria guy. I think it's time for me to do a live about the numbers.
The numbers make no sense.
It is wrong. And I'm tired of seeing us struggle and go through things and work hard and not reap the benefits of what we were supposed to reap.
It looks like fans might have been onto something when they claimed that there was more to Angie Stone's passing than we knew. Multiple people in the industry have stepped up to reveal the shady circumstances surrounding her death, and there is a lot we didn't know. In the weeks leading up to her sudden passing, Angie revealed that she had discovered some shocking and disappointing secrets about a very powerful person in the industry. She claimed she was preparing for a battle with some of the most influential people in the business, and it seems that statement painted a target on her back. For a while, fans thought they were overanalyzing or jumping to conclusions with speculation that Angie's passing was planned. However, Jaguar Wright and Tyler Perry have now stepped up to reveal that Angie was indeed taken out because she was about to expose some very dark secrets about high-ranking individuals. Her death wasn't exactly the accident we were told it was. So, what exactly do Jaguar and Tyler know about this case? Did Angie really confide in Tyler Perry before she passed? Let's break it down. Angie's passing was so shocking and sudden that fans were convinced there was more to the story than we were being told. While it's true that hundreds of people tragically lose their lives in car accidents every day, something about this particular case didn't add up. For instance, Angie had already been involved in one accident just minutes before being hit by a semi-truck, yet she was the only casualty. Even more suspiciously, nobody else involved sustained serious injuries, raising red flags, because the odds of that happening are incredible.
What do they want?
What do you mean? They want their payment. They want their pound of flesh. They want you to keep feeding the system. Doesn't matter how hard she worked for it. That's not her money. That's their money. That's what they do. They've been robbing me for years.
Yep.
They stole more money from me than they stole from Angie. I can't stop thinking about Nick Carter. And Aaron Carter. I can't stop thinking. Brother in the Illuminati, brother not in the Illuminati. Brother in the Illuminati commits all kinds of heinous crimes against women, and he's okay, but his brother's gone. And all he wanted was his money so he could push on. Like, how many of these things have to happen in front of the public? Of course they're going to attack, I'll be sure. Of course they're going to attack me. Of course they're going to attack anybody who's interested in the truth. Of course they're going to come at us really hard for that first 72 hours. Make sure we stop posting, or at least get us flagged from being able to go live, so nobody thinks about the details of the fact that we just watch Angie Stone get moved around in real time on her son's birthday.
Slim. Jaguar Wright wasted no time in addressing the situation, claiming that Angie's death was allegedly a sacrifice. She suggested that Angie had gotten in way over her head when she went against some of the most powerful people in the industry, people who wouldn't allow themselves to be exposed. When Jaguar made this claim, fans quickly started piecing things together, and it didn't take long to realize that the math wasn't mathing. On March 1, 2025, Angie and her team were on their way back from a Mardi Gras concert in Alabama, traveling in a Sprinter van. They had been working on a new project and filming in the area, but decided to take a break to enjoy the festivities. The trip was meant to be a brief getaway, a chance to unwind before getting back to business. Everything seemed normal on Interstate 65, until it wasn't. Out of nowhere, the van lost control and flipped over. All 9 passengers were shaken but miraculously survived without life-threatening injuries. However, before they could fully grasp what had happened or call for help, things took a devastating turn. A semi-truck, moving at full speed, suddenly slammed into the wrecked Sprinter, crushing it on impact. The force of the crash was catastrophic, and tragically, Angie was the only one who lost her life that night, leaving her team, loved ones, and fans in complete shock. At first, it seemed like a heartbreaking accident, a tragic series of unfortunate events. But as time passed, people started scrutinizing the details. Something about the situation didn't sit right. Questions began swirling, theories started forming, and soon enough, what first seemed like a freak accident turned into something far more complicated. Just weeks before the tragedy, Angie had hinted at an upcoming legal battle on her Instagram page. She wrote, "I've just discovered something that's been hidden in the dark for too long. My publishing was stolen, and guess what? I know exactly who did it. But don't get it twisted, I'm coming for all of you dogs who thought you could take what's mine. Trust, I'm ready." Just like Jamie Foxx said, what had happened was, well, now it's my turn to share my testimony. It's a new chapter, and you can bet the truth is coming to light. Stay tuned. This whole situation has people seriously questioning what really happened to Angie. Weeks have passed since the crash, yet there has been no investigation, no suspects, no mugshots, and no press conferences, just complete radio silence. It's almost as if the world was expected to move on without asking.
People are reporting hearing pop, pop, pop before the crash. Sounds like we may have a case of road rage. Either one, road rage, or two, you know what. Now, it seems that the pop, pop, pop may have been gunshots to the tires, and that will cause the van to lose control.
Any questions? Or maybe, just maybe, someone is making sure those questions never get answered. Because let's be real, the timing is suspicious. Angie had just started calling out Universal Music Group, UMG, and Clive Davis, and then, suddenly, she was gone. That's not just bad luck, that's convenient. And if you think that's wild, just wait, because the most chilling part of the story comes straight from a witness who barely made it out alive. According to this witness, Angie wasn't killed in the initial crash. That's right, she made it out alive. A woman on the
flashers were on, so we slowed down some, and that's when I noticed there was an overturned vehicle in the fast lane. And it looked like it just happened. I pulled over and put my flashers on, and I told my daughter to stay in the car, and I ran over. It was a van, and I ran over, and there were so many people in this van, and they were just trying to get out. And I asked if they'd called the cops, and they said, "We're just trying to get out." And they were helping this woman out off the side of the van, and I grabbed her hand and I helped her get down, and she seemed out of it, and I was holding her hand and she was wobbling around.
Scene even helped her out of the wreckage. But before she could reach safety, a man in the semi-truck appeared out of nowhere and hit her. Even more disturbingly, multiple people in the area reported hearing loud popping noises just before the accident. So, was Angie's death truly an accident, or was there something far more sinister at play?
She managed to get Angie out of the van, and for a brief moment it seemed like things might be okay. They were trying to figure out what to do next, how to get help, how to keep.
I've got to sit down. And then the next thing I know, I flew and I fell down to the ground, and it felt like something not ran over me, but brushed over me. Like something just swiped over my body. And I got up and I could hear screaming, and I just focused in on one screaming, and it was my daughter. And all I could do was run across the highway and tell her to get back in the car.
Everyone safe, but then out of nowhere, the woman felt something rush past her. Before she could even process what was happening, a massive truck seemingly appearing out of thin air crashed straight into Angie, and just like that, she was gone. This was weird on so many levels, because imagine being pulled from a crash only to be struck again moments later. The math is not mathing, and the more details that come out, the more it looks like this wasn't just some freak accident. But if you think this isn't suspicious, Enough there's more because according to someone who was in the original van with Angie, the driver was driving at a very high speed, and when Angie told him to slow down he refused and instead started to drive even faster according to reports. Sharita Murphy, who was one of 8 people in the van with Angie Stone, expressed gratitude on her Facebook page. "We are blessed to be alive," she credits Angie Stone's calm demeanor during the ordeal, alleging the van driver's extremely fast driving caused Angie Stone to request he slow down, but he failed to do so, resulting in the van flipping 3 times before being struck by an 18-wheeler and claiming the life of Angie Stone. Plus the fact that Angie was so outspoken about calling out the people who did her dirty has fans giving this entire situation a major side eye. Could her sudden and tragic passing really be just an accident, or does it have something to do with those unpaid royalties and the legal battle she was gearing up for? Because let's be real, this wouldn't be the first time an artist mysteriously lost their life after standing up to the industry's most powerful players. The music business has an ugly history of silencing those who refuse to fall in line. Countless artists have spoken about the shady dealings, the stolen money, and the threats that come when someone dares to fight back. And Angie, she was never wanted to stay quiet. She was calling people out, pulling back the curtain on the kind of corruption most artists are too afraid to speak on, and making it clear she wasn't going to let them take what was rightfully hers. She was gearing up for a legal battle, and then just like that she's gone. The timing alone is enough to make people pause. And then there's the actual crash, because that's another thing that's just not adding up. A Sprinter van flips over on a highway, 9 people inside, yet somehow only Angie doesn't make it. Nobody is saying there should have been more casualties, but let's be honest, the math isn't math. How does everyone else make it out with just injuries, but she's the only one who doesn't survive? It almost feels too specific, too calculated. And if that wasn't enough to raise eyebrows, there's another
Y'all gotta forgive me because I'm angry at the way she was treated. I did not know all the things that she was going through. Recently, I found out, because I'm not on Instagram. I'm not being hooked and manipulated by an algorithm telling me what to think and how to feel. So I don't see everything. But to think that this woman was in the business for all of these years, and there's a difference between performing because you want to and performing because you have to. All of those years, all of those songs, all of that money that was owed to her, where is it? It's wrong. It is wrong. And I'm tired of seeing us struggle and go through things and work hard and not reap the benefits of what we were supposed to reap. But you got to be careful when you start mistreating people, especially children of God, because the Bible says, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. And I'm going to tell you something. This woman was a prophet. She prophesied and preached her own eulogy. What am I talking about? In her song, No More Rain in This Cloud, she says, my sunshine has come. And I'm all cried out. There's no more rain in this cloud. And many of you may not know this, but I'm a pilot. And when you are a pilot, the first thing you study is the weather. And I learned about clouds, and what a cloud is particles, air and particles. And when the rain gets in that cloud and the particles gets too heavy, it becomes to rain. It drops to the ground. It falls. It is just like our souls. We hold so much in. We hold so much pain. We hold so much that it has to come out of our eyes as tears. But the beauty of what she was talking about is when a cloud has no more tears, it dissipates. It's gone. But if you listen to that song again, there's a part that I want you to really, really listen to. She said, what goes around comes around.
Theory that takes things to an even darker place. Some people are now questioning if Angie may have already been gone before the accident even happened. That speculation alone takes this from a suspicious tragedy to something much more sinister. At this point, the lack of answers is making everything look even shadier. No official investigation, no statements, no suspects, just silence. And in the entertainment industry, when things go quiet after something major happens, that usually means someone somewhere doesn't want the truth to come out. But wait, there's more, because just when folks thought this situation couldn't get any messier, Tyler Perry stepped up at Angie's funeral a few days ago and went off on the industry. And when I say off, I mean he did not hold back. During his speech, he made it very clear that Angie was done dirty while she was alive. He called out the way the industry mistreated her, how they tried to silence her, and how they refused to give her the credit and compensation she deserved. And if that wasn't enough, he also seemingly confirmed what Angie had been saying all along, that she was owed money and that they had been robbing her blind for years. Now let's pause right there, because Tyler Perry is not some random person off the street. He's deep in the industry, so for him to stand up at her funeral in front of everyone and basically co-sign what Angie had been fighting for, that's huge. And it makes the timing of her death look even more suspicious, because let's be real, why is it that artists only seem to get their flowers after they're gone?
Why is it that their truth only starts coming to light after they can no longer speak for themselves? Tyler's speech might have been emotional, but to a lot of people it also felt like confirmation that something foul happened to Angie, and the people responsible are still out there. It's truly heartbreaking to think that anyone could be treated this way, let alone someone who poured years of her life into the industry, helping to build up other artists and leaving behind a legacy that deserved so much more respect. Angie wasn't just another name in the game. She was a force, a talent, and a woman who refused to be pushed around. And yet in the end, she was treated like she was disposable. But as tragic as that is, things take an even darker turn when you hear what